welcome to episode 141 of Scar Bearers. 141. I don't know if you know this about me. I love palindromes. And so any number that starts and ends the same way, it's always a tickle for me. I hope you have a tickle that has brushed your funny bone today, but not in a painful way. I'm Chris D.T. Gordon, by the way. I don't know why I'm rhyming. Maybe I'll do it all the timing. That was awful. Anyway, I hope you're having a great day. I am really excited for our conversation we're about to have here. And I do apologize for the jittering my face is doing in the video. You audio people don't have to worry about it. Hopefully, there we go. I'm back.
There you go. I didn't know if
my
you could
normal.
see it too.
I was doing a Max Headroom vibe there. Anyway, please like, subscribe, and share these episodes when my head isn't shaking like crazy like that. They do offer a lot of inspiration and hope to people. So please share these episodes, like the episode, and subscribe to the podcast so you can receive some hope and inspiration to help yourself out throughout your day. And if you want to reach out to me at chrisdtgordon.com, I greatly appreciate it. You can find out what I have to offer in terms of the attitude of gratitude and pass on perfection and go for greatness. Well, today I'm joined by my friend, Caley Rose. Caley, how are you today?
Hello, I'm good. I'm happy to be here. Thank you for having me.
Well, I'm happy that you're able to join me. You have been busy lately.
Yes.
And I know that we have only been friends for a little while, but since that time we've met, it seems like you're always going around visiting places. I know you're in the Kansas City, Kansas area, and you seem to be really letting schools and groups up with your infectious smile and your story and your music. So before we really get into your story, tell us a bit about yourself, please.
Yes. So my name is Caley Rose. I'm a singer and a songwriter. And about a year and a half ago, I created this program called Music with a Message. And so that, for listeners, that's why Chris and I really connected, because I really enjoy bringing, my confidence tools into schools, because when I was a kid, I didn't have them, and I had zero confidence as a result for over a decade. And so I woke up one morning about a year and a half ago and really wanted to help kids who were going through what I was going through. I didn't want them to go through it alone.
That's fantastic because, we all know what it's like. I guess I can't use that generalization, but a lot of us know what it's like to go through middle school and to feel like you're alone. You're the only one dealing with this. And so many people want to say, well, that's just life. That's just what you have to do. No, it really isn't.
Not. It really rather not.
You don't need to suffer like that. Yeah. And for you to use your story and your talents to speak out for those kids who need that message, that is so empowering. Not only for them, but for others to share their stories as well.
Yeah, even when I'm in the schools, I'm like, I think the teachers might be benefiting from this too, because they're adults who are still working on their confidence. I'm always working on gaining more confidence and learning more about building confidence and building positive thinking. So it's
exactly, I am as we're recording this, I'm less than 4 weeks from a very important race I'm running. I'm running the Med City Marathon in Rochester, Minnesota, and I'm trying to qualify for Boston, for the Boston Marathon.
Wow.
And there is this phenomenon called paranoia.
I don't know about that.
Well, it's paranoia leading up to the marathon. Every little twitch, every little inkling of pain, your mind just catastrophizes.
I completely.
And so, for the next couple of weeks, I want you to pray for my wife if you're the praying kind, because she's going to have to deal with me dealing with this, and I need to have that positive mindset. And so
spinning out.
Exactly. So having tools to help us through our daily lives and stay positive is not just for kids. It's especially for adults, because we're the one trying to bring the kids up so they can become the future leaders
Yes, absolutely.
So
And we
no,
have
I
so many thoughts in our head every day, and it's
yes.
which ones do you choose to focus on? I think the latest stats were between 12,000 and 60,000 thoughts in your head a day. And I
Mm,
think, positive thinking might get this bad rap from some people who don't understand it, thinking that it's almost denial. And it's not that we're saying don't feel your feelings. It's
mm.
feel your feelings and then prevail. The successful people, the Michael Jordans of the world, they get knocked down. They've put themselves out there so much that they're going to have negative experiences, of course. But feel your feelings and then pick yourself up and decide to choose the positive thoughts.
Exactly.
You know?
For us with physical scars, it's
Mhm.
not like I can just wish them away.
Mhm.
They are there. They are a fact. But
Absolutely.
how I view them and how I work through the physical or emotional pain attached to them, that's
Mhm.
all on me. And that
Absolutely.
is my responsibility. So exactly, we're not saying that you can be a Pollyanna or Polly and go ahead and just
Or
ignore
Andy.
everything. It's being able to deal with it in a positive way.
Yes, absolutely. And when you say physical scars, I'm like, yeah, I have those too. We can two on my face.
Mhm.
We can talk about scars all day. I love the theme of this message.
Yeah, thank you. And so, as we talk about scars,
Mm.
a lot of times my guests will have physical scars,
Mm.
but your scars are more of the emotional kind.
I talk about the emotional kind. Yeah. So I touched on it a little bit, but when I was in middle school, I was targeted by one girl in particular, and I had a group of friends. Everything was going all hunky dory. I was 10 years old. And then one day I walked into middle school and went to my seat at lunch because we all had our seats at that lunch table with our friends. And my normal seat was filled by a boy was sitting there, and everybody was whispering and they wouldn't tell me what was going on. And they said that I was kicked out of the lunch table. And it was earth shattering, confidence completely to a zero from a high. Because I think you come into this world as a happy go lucky kid and you're all about love and you're, willing to love and be loved in return. And then we'll have experiences in our lives that might change us and alter us forever, like these emotional scars we're talking about. So that, one incident happened and then a couple, well, two girls in particular started just really targeting me, going after me. And it really, one was the spearheader, I learned later. And it was at the time, my mom said, "Oh, the person's just jealous," but it doesn't mean anything. Your parents, I wish I could have taken that and believed it, but you're just so hurt.
Mhm.
And it informs your sense of self. So then it really informed my sense of self for over a decade until I kind of woke up one day in my 20s and realized I only have one life. I only have one me, and I better start liking this person because the thoughts in my mind were so unkind to myself. I didn't like being alone because I didn't like being alone with my thoughts in my head because they were awful. Who would like being alone with a mean person every moment of the day? No, thank
Exactly.
you. you know so then I had to decide to build my own confidence and learn about confidence, and I did so, and then I created this program almost 10 years later
So
because I want to
I don't
share.
mean to. I'm sorry.
Go. Yeah, I talked a
I
lot.
yeah, I didn't mean to.
Let's talk.
Yeah, I don't mean to interrupt, but I do want to go back a
Mm-mm.
little bit. Did you ever find out why that girl was targeting you?
I think it would be an interesting interview for me, once I get to some point, just to say, because I've thought of like reaching out now that we both have our own children and just saying, what was it? Because you can hypothesize all day. And the group of friends eventually stopped following her and became friends with me, and we were fine. But I could never trust that girl again. And I did notice once Instagram stories came out and you could check who was looking at them, this person was often at the top of my list. So what
Mhm.
my mom was saying seems to have been true. They seem to
Yeah.
have a certain interest in me that, got to a point. I don't know. But yeah, someday I would love to. Sorry, that was a long winded answer to say, boy, would I like to be brave enough to ask that question. So I should. I didn't want to make her
Maybe,
uncomfortable though, which is a people
yeah,
pleasing thing, which I should just squash.
maybe you should write a song about how you're
Ah,
working through that and not targeting her, but maybe inviting her to become friends again or,
yeah,
to renew a
absolutely.
connection.
Absolutely, because I think so many of us, we've all made mistakes. I commented on a girl's hair bow. After that happened to me, I turned around and I bullied someone else because she was the new girl in the group of friends, and I felt jealous. And it was pure jealousy. It was probably, I mean, what I remember, one mean comment, but I should, talk about that more and how terrible I feel about that because I think a lot of us have made mistakes and would
Mhm.
like to remedy them.
Oh, of course. And when
Yeah.
you talk about, you remember how people make you feel, it reminds me of
Uh-huh.
that quote from Maya Angelou that
Hmm.
people won't remember what you do, but
Hmm.
they will always remember how you make them feel.
Huh. Wow. Interesting. I love that. I've never heard that before.
Yeah. 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 It's one of the quotes that I use often in my presentations
Uh-huh.
because, like, especially little kids, when I speak to elementary schools, they just could say things. And
Uh-huh.
especially with the prevalence of YouTube and social media, they see these
Hmm.
people saying things for likes
Yeah.
and for followers,
Oh, trolls.
and they
Absolutely.
don't really consider what the feelings of the other person are and that there is weight behind those words.
Absolutely. And now I'm dealing with it more and more with online trolls. The more you put yourself out there, the more you are going to get trolls. And
Mhm.
it doesn't make it easier, but me, even 5, 6 years ago, would have crawled into a tiny ball and cried every time this happens. And it's not that often, but it's often enough. But
Yeah.
now I really, really understand and embody, wow, that hurt person needs to hurt other people, and like they must really be hurting if they need to say negative things online. So I really, say to them, I am so sorry for whatever you're going through, and I mean it from the bottom of my heart. It's terrible,
Mhm.
and I really wish them the best.
Yeah. But I
Yeah.
want to get back to your enterprise,
Yeah.
music with a message.
Music with a message.
How did that start?
It really was that amazing moment where you wake up one morning and you have an idea and then you just kind of take action before you even think about it, because so many of us, and I'm guilty of it too, will procrastinate and let fear get the best of us or let imposter syndrome get the best of us. I just started to take a little bit of action. And the first time I spoke in a school, I didn't have an organized program. It was really just me telling every tiny bit of advice and every life lesson I could possibly think of for an hour to these two different hours to these groups of students, and they were gracious enough to let me do that and to support it with music. So I've always been, ever since I started songwriting 5 years ago, the through line has been inspiration and empowerment through my music. And now I'm writing even more music for the program to support the message of the program, which is really exciting. But yeah, so now here we are, and it's a program, and I've narrowed it down to make it more comprehensive for the students to digest.
So, do you have a song that you always lead off with, or does it depend on the group?
It's I have the song, well, two songs in particular that I build to because I tell my story a little bit, and then I want the students to become more involved as we go. And I think I need to build trust with them because I first show up in their auditorium and they're like, who is she and why is she here? So I share why I'm there and my story and the lessons that I'm trying to impart and my confidence tools. And I link it to the music as I go. And then at the end, I sing Stand Up, one of my songs, and we say, I say, you don't even have to sing it. You can just say, Stand up, say it, stand up, at the same time that I do, and get the whole auditorium singing that. And then I always end with Game Over because it's about video games and empowerment, and kids tend to really enjoy that song, and I get them up and dancing.
Well, that's cool. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
anything that really ties them into their interests,
Yeah.
they really
Totally.
like. That's why, I use superheroes so much
Yeah.
because, kids like superheroes, and I am a big kid too.
Yeah.
Absolutely love them. That's why I have the Ninja Turtles behind me,
Oh,
and
hey.
yeah, and I wear
Who's
a
your
cape.
favorite superhero?
You know, right now I have to say a character named One Punch Man.
Who's that? I don't even know who
He
that is.
is an
One
anime
Punch Man.
character.
Okay.
He gained some prominence in 2015
Huh.
when they took his manga and turned into a season of cartoons.
Ah, cool.
But basically, I just like the satirical nature of it.
Hmm.
Also, he's very easy for me to cosplay because we're both bald and skinny.
Ah, that's
So
awesome.
there's
See,
that.
yeah, we want to see ourselves represented. My daughter has gotten really into Spider-Man, and she's only
Okay.
3. And so I love that because as girls, we didn't, growing up, I at least, and I know a lot of women didn't really get encouraged to enjoy superheroes. So I like bought her all these Spider-Man things for Easter just now, and now there's another one she's into. So
Yeah, and
I'm
then
very
now
excited
the
about the superheroes.
Spider-Man into this Across the Spider-Verse is coming out, and Spider-Gwen is a main character.
I'm excited to see that.
Yes, that
Yeah,
looks
she's one of the little figures we got, Gwen.
awesome. Very
Yeah,
cool. And
it's
so now
awesome.
you recently released a new song called Storm.
Yes.
Yeah, so what is that about?
Yes. So Storm is another one of my empowering songs. I had just kind of the hook come to me, which, if anyone's not a big music writer out there, it's part of the chorus that's catchy, basically. And I thought, coming at you, coming at you, coming at you like a storm. And I thought, ooh, that's a cool female empowerment title again. And, in the beginning, I was writing female empowerment just because I identify as a female. And now I'm really like, no, let's empower everyone. So it's a little less, I'm not trying to alienate anyone. It's just
Yeah.
because I identify it as a female. But Storm is a little more universal in that way. And it's for anyone who has felt underestimated because I think a lot of people can relate to the feeling of meeting someone along their lifetime and that person not seeing their value, whether it's a romantic person or a person along their career path and just not understand. Like, I think we deep down really do know our value. So something in us realizes that that person not seeing our value does not ring true. Like that person should recognize our value. So that's what the song is for. It's for anyone who's ever felt underestimated.
Now, how has the reception to the song been so far?
I mean, yeah, I love now that I have been creating more specifically for empowerment. It's so beautiful to see how people are receiving it because I think in the beginning, most songwriters start writing songs because it feels good, because it feels therapeutic. It's just another form
The
of therapy that's a
release?
little bit cheaper. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so you write a lot of songs about the stuff that you've gone through and the stuff that you're going through, and it's like therapy. But I always say, like, there's a continuum. We can write a song just for us, just to get out those emotions, or we can write something that's going to appeal more to other people. So now that I'm really trying to inspire and empower, I can see more people interested in the music, which is so exciting.
That's fantastic. Have you heard it on the
Yeah.
radio yet?
Not this one. Oh yeah, wait, yes I did. Yes I did. In
Oh,
Kansas
wow.
City, yes. On a show here called The Bridge, or on a network channel. There we go. Called The Bridge. Yeah, they played my song, which was really awesome. And I have a DJ who's been a big supporter here, so I might,
Very cool.
take it all around the country with that radio station reaching because we're going on tour and we'll see where it reaches.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah.
What's the what's the farthest you've traveled so far to, deliver your music with a message?
Well, let's see. We've done Charlotte, Kansas City, and next I do in May I go to Los Angeles, and then in June I go to New York. Yeah.
Oh wow.
And I was supposed to do Los Angeles last June, but I got COVID in May, and then
Hmm.
it just shot my voice for like 12 weeks. It was the worst. So I had to cancel that show in LA, and I felt terribly. So I'm going back to that school to make up for it.
Well, good. Now,
Yeah.
when you had to recover from COVID, did you have to do anything special for your voice or just rest it?
Ugh, rest, which is the most painful thing. And I still, I booked shows and I sang some shows. I sang for 3 hours at a winery, because
Oh,
I
wow.
thought I'll be fine by then. And I'm not good at resting. It's a theme in my life.
As a runner, I can
Uh,
definitely identify with that.
yeah, you like to be active. You like to give energy, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
You have all this growth to attain, and
Yeah.
all
We
these
have
people to
goals.
inspire.
We're too busy to rest. We have good goals.
Exactly.
Very
So,
similar.
we are both going to share our talents in an
Yay.
upcoming virtual summit. Unfortunately, this episode will air afterwards,
Yes.
but how do you, as a musician, transfer
Mm.
your energies into a virtual presentation that's different from a live presentation?
Yeah, I mean, I have so much energy that it transfers across the screen, no problem. But I was actually just talking about once I have a virtual show in May for Music with a Message, I was talking about the program coordinator about how to translate it to the students for a whole hour.
Mhm.
And that I'm going to, like, usually I'll bring students on stage and have them pick up a percussion instrument for one of the songs, and kids love that. And I tell them that it's an opportunity to be brave and that we're putting these tools that I'm teaching them into practice. So I try to pick the students that aren't the first ones to raise their hand, that seem a little reluctant to do so, because it's a big thing for them to raise their hands. But
Yes.
really, I want to get everybody involved, you know. So I'm thinking for this virtual show, like the one school that I did in January, I brought 25 kids up with percussion instruments. That was too many kids on percussion instruments. I had the kids in the audience singing and clapping. I had the kids on percussion instruments, and I had like 4 or 5 kids on ukuleles. It was a beautiful cacophony.
Yes.
But me, one person, the only one singing the vocals, even though it was into a microphone, it was too loud. So I think virtually, I'll say maybe mute yourselves while we're clapping, because people are on different beats, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be perfect. So I'll get them
Yeah.
involved in that way, get them raising their hand on Zoom, and it'll turn into a discussion, which I think will be beautiful and intimate in that way.
Well, cool. Because
Yeah.
as a speaker,
Mm-hmm.
there are a couple different things that we do based on the forum,
Mm-hmm.
but music is in many ways a different animal. So I'm just
Mm-hmm.
wondering how you're able to translate what you do into the virtual presentation. But I am so
Totally.
excited for you to perform on Saturday. It's for the
Thank you.
Teacher Wellness Summit
Yes. I'm
that
excited to
is
see
going to
you.
be. Yes, I don't know if they will offer recordings, but you can always check it out at
Hmm.
teacherwellnesssummit.com just to see.
Yes.
Uh,
Yes.
but as we're talking with teachers, what is something surprising that you have discovered when you're delivering your message to adults
Ah.
that you weren't expecting as you were starting out in your journey?
Huh. To adults. It's funny. I thought you were gonna say kids, and I was like, oh my gosh, they have taught me so much. Yeah, adults, it's more about the connection afterwards for me. Like I think they're more reserved audience members in some respects. Where kids, I mean, you could just be in the middle of something and their hand is up because they are burning with the question, which I love. And adults, it's more about the connection afterwards and the longevity of our connection online. But I'm learning so much from the kids because they, as they surprise you and they're brilliant and they're so inspiring. And so I've, incorporated new aspects. Like after my song Stand Up, now I'll always say, okay, my song is about standing up for yourself. When is an opportunity to stand up for yourself? And a million hands go up, and their answers amaze me. Like when it was actually my niece, who I see all the time and I know, she raised her hand, and I thought she was going to, specify a moment when it's a good time to stand up for yourself. And she put her hand down like a rock star and said, all the time. It's just
Nice.
like, yeah, nobody's ever given that answer before. Thank you so much.
Awesome.
Yeah, they're just the best, as you know, and as anyone listening knows, they teach us.
Yes, yes, they do
Yeah.
in so many ways.
Yeah.
So, as we wrap up, because I know you're very busy,
Me too.
first of all, I want to ask, what is a lesson or something that's happened in your life that maybe at the time
Hmm.
you weren't thankful for, but now you look back on it and you're like, wow, that changed my life.
Ha. Wasn't thankful for that changed my life. The first thing that comes to mind is learning during quarantine that it is my job to make myself happy. Like my husband is wonderful, but there was a moment where I was thinking to myself like, yeah, he should say let's go for a walk in the middle of the day every once in a while because he knows that I need to get outside. And what a brat that was. Like I know that I need to get outside. It is my job to make myself happy. And since I've had that revelation, holy mama, like, yes, in every moment, if I can choose to make myself happy and not hurt other people, yes, do that thing.
Yes.
So it really is in our control. And through the power of what we think, we become what we believe, and it's so many things. So yeah, that's my lesson.
That's huge. I think a lot of people have experienced revelations
Yeah.
of various sorts during the pandemic.
It's so true. It's
Yeah.
changed us all, for better and worse.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, how can people reach out to you, Caley, if they want to get a hold of you to chat or maybe experience your music or see where
Yes.
you're performing next?
Yes. So my name is Caley with a C, Caley. If anyone's listening, I'm holding up the letter C. And my last name is Rose, as in the flower. And my program is called Music with a Message. On all social media platforms, you can find me at Caley Rose, Caley, Rose, as in the flower, except for TikTok, because someone else got that. So it's Caley Rose Music on TikTok. And
Okay.
you can find my Music with a Message program by searching my name and Music with a Message. My email is Caley's Music with a Message at gmail.com with an S after it.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Well,
Thank
I
you for
hope
having me.
I want to thank you, and I
Thank
hope people
you.
flock to your channel, to all your social media outlets and everything, and
you.
experience what you have to share and
Thank
pass
you.
along your message to everyone who needs to hear it.
Thank you. And
But
thank you for
before
what you're
we go,
doing.
oh, my pleasure, my pleasure. But before you go, I have one
Okay.
more question for you. What is your favorite dinosaur?
A pterodactyl, because they can fly. There are no my superpower would be to be in two places at once. And I was like, is there a dinosaur that was in two places at once? No. Got to be the flying one.
Yeah, leave it to Jurassic Park for the cloning.
It's true. There you go.
Yes. There you go.
I
Well,
should say
Caley,
clone.
as always, it's a pleasure to chat with
Thank
you.
you. It's so good to
Thank you
chat with
so much
you.
for sharing your story, and
Thank
I'm
you.
so excited to see how far you fly now.
Thank you. You too. I'm so
Thank
inspired by
you.
you. So thank you.
Yep, and thank you again. And so, folks, check her out, Caley Rose, Caley with a C, at all social media platforms. On TikTok, it's Caley Rose Sings or Caley Rose Music.
Yes, you got it. Caley Rose Music.
Caley Rose Music at TikTok. At TikTok. You have to make sure you enunciate. Anyway, please check me out at chrisdtgordon.com if you want to find out what I have to say about the attitude of gratitude or passing on perfection and going for greatness. You can find me at Chris DT Gordon on all social media platforms. Please like, subscribe, share these messages of hope and inspiration so we can help make the world a better place. So with that, folks, thank you so much once again for joining me. Please have a great day. And remember, as always, to pass imperfection and go for greatness.